Hello, welcome to Football Fans Tactics. It was an entertaining encounter between the Blues and Reds at Stamford Bridge in the opening Premier League match. It ended in a 1-1 draw with both sides having their other goals cancelled by VAR. There was an improvement from Chelsea's side, so what tactic did Pochettino use in this battle? Let's look. Let's start with Chelsea on position. On paper, Chelsea lined up in a 3-4-2-1 formation, while Liverpool with their normal formation of 4-3-3 but without a traditional defensive midfielder, which we will touch on later on in the video. During build-up, the centre-backs drop back to the 18 box to receive the initial pass from Sanchez, while Desai moved to the flank to widen the pitch. Liverpool's attacking wingers could fall into the midfield so as stop Chelsea to have possession through the centre. This ensured more pressure in the middle, but it didn't stop Chelsea to build from the back. The front three were easily beaten due to numerical superiority, which was 5 against 3. One way would be a centre-back receiving the ball and dragging the Liverpool winger. For example, Sulla would press Colwill, leaving Gallagher unmarked, who could start progression from deep. But most times Hoda will mark Gallagher, also making Silva receive pass and have time and space to pick his man up the pitch. And of which he is a good progressive passer. These made Liverpool suffer. High up the pitch, Chelsea used a single pivot to attack, with Enzo joining the attack by covering the half space, forcing Sterling to hug the line. Liverpool midfielders were covering the man in the half space, fullbacks marking Chelsea wide wingers. Gallagher had space in the middle, whom he was not covered with Mac Allister. Mostly Szoboszlai would step up to cover him, leaving Arnold confused on whom to mark. If he steps to Carney, Chilwell would be left alone, and in fact, it mostly did happen throughout the 90. With his mapping showing his position in the pitch. If you think the left wing was only exploited by Chelsea, you are wrong. The right wing was in danger also. When Sterling and Reece received the ball, Robertson was a 2 against 1. So Sterling having the ball, Reece would make underlapping or overlapping runs down the flank. Most times this, and if Van Dijk came to help, it would make matters worse. This was Fabinho's work. Van Dijk would leave space for Enzo to make runs behind the defense. Let's view Liverpool poor possession. In Liverpool on build-up, it was more difficult than it seemed. Kane went wide while Trent joined Mac Allister to form a double pivot, and Van Dijk together with Robertson dropped back to make a back four. The Blues attackers on half space would pick men who are wide, and this press would be triggered by when the wide would receive a pass. When Kane receives a pass from Alisson, Chukwuemeka pressed him, leaving to move up to mark Trent. This left a big space at the center of the pack for Gakpo to occupy, but Desai tried to close him up often. Kane could not pick him up, also due to his long pass inaccuracy, so instead Chelsea opted to go with Robertson. A pass to him triggered Sterling to press, leaving a gap for Gakpo to receive a bounce pass from Van Dijk. Chelsea's front three were easily beaten, and also they had fewer numbers in the middle of the park. So instead of to mark Konate, he was tasked to stay behind Jackson so as to be in a position to mark Konate and also draw back if Liverpool started in the left wing. So he would man-mark Mac Allister while Enzo picked Gakpo, making Liverpool's progression to a halt. High up the pitch, Chelsea defended in a 4-4-1-1 formation. And Liverpool's attacking midfielders pushed wide while Sulla and Diaz moved to half spaces. Liverpool were outnumbered at the middle of the park, and their attackers were man-oriented. Hoda was not keen to drop back to add numbers so as to create a passing option from deep. At times Robertson would receive a pass and Enzo would press him, and Chukwuemeka would cover Mac Allister. The progression would stop from there since every player would be marked except Konate, who was not in a dangerous position. To counter this, we could see Szoboszlai shifting to the center to increase numbers, but Gallagher would take him down and Chilwell would be tasked to Trent wherever he goes. Kane would not push wide due to fear of Kalasia attacking the transition. So Sulla was comfortable with 1v1 with Colwill, who was sloppy in the first half but gained momentum in the second half. Remember, every fan watches football from a different angle. Leave your comment below. Thanks for watching. Adios.